Hello everyone, this is Hassan from HDFX, and today I wanna teach you what is Elliott wave theory. Okay, because I've seen so many analysis, so many ways to do it, so many ways to count the waves, but you need some basic structure to understand what's going on if you wanna know and learn how to trade Elliott wave theory. Okay, first of all, I don't want to bore you with stuff such as like who is Elliot, blah blah blah. That you don't need this stuff. What you need is actually the logical process of thinking about the theory. This is what you need. Okay? So, let's go forward a little bit. Now, what you need is to understand when you look at when you want to do an Elliott wave analysis, what are you dealing with? You have to know that Elliott wave theory has two different waves types. The first wave type is what we call an impulsive move. Okay, impulsive move. And this impulsive move is actually what you see all the time people doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's label it 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, it's pretty easy to just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and say, okay, we can see that it's an Elliott wave move. But of course, there are so much rules about this. First of all, for example, every single 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulsive move has to end something in a bigger degree. So, for example, if you think that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has happened here, you have to say on a bigger degree some move is actually finished. So let's say that on a bigger degree on this different color, now it's 1. So the thing that people usually misses the most is when they do just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they have to they don't understand the difference between the degree cycles. Okay, so if you want to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it can be only 1, and this first wave is actually in a smaller degree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 too. And this third wave is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 too. And the fifth wave is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 too. So we should start a little bit slower. So in an impulsive move, when I say an impulsive move, it means you're looking for a move like this that is labeled with numbers. Okay, first thing you should know is it is labeled with numbers. The second thing that you have to know in an impulsive move, the first wave, the third wave, and the fifth wave have to be impulsive of their own. So if I want to go, for example, on the lower degree, just like I said, so let's make a lower degree here with you. I use different colors and different how big it is to understand the different cycles. So this first wave has to be something like this in a lower degree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also the third wave, also the fifth wave. However, if you think, for example, this is the bigger degree one, yes? So if we go down for our second wave in this degree, you cannot have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here on one lower degree. Okay, so what is our one lower degree from this green? Well, it's from this degree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you think that the second wave can be on this degree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're wrong. It cannot. So this is usually the type of mistakes that people do. Okay, so if it's 1, then you need a 2. Also, of course, that people think this main thing actually says like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, and ABC. This is the most common thing that is right now on online. So it's A, B, and C. Well, this can be true because you can have an ABC, but you can have something so much different. When you're labeling, whenever you see an Elliott wave that is labeled with ABC, it means that you are looking for a corrective wave. Okay, a corrective wave. Okay, so now it's actually this simple. You have an impulsive wave and a corrective wave. Now, when you understand where this impulsive wave can happen and where this corrective wave can happen, it will help you so much to understand what's going on. And you have to understand the differences between the degrees as well. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and this ends as an example 1. I could have written here 5, or I could have written 5 as well, 3 or 5. Let's say this is a 3. It means that, as you can see just here, it means that this after this 3, the fourth wave will start. So whatever this ABC is actually a fourth wave. Now, on a corrective structure, you can have an ABC, you can have an ABCDE, or you can have a complex, what we call complex correction, which actually you can do something like this. It can have, I will teach you this X wave too in probably a different video, but you can have an ABCX and something like A, B, let's say C. Look, in this way, your fourth wave is not just done with ABC, but it is done with ABCX and ABC. So in this way, this whatever this wave is, fourth wave, let me find rectangle. Whatever this structure is actually the fourth wave. So if you just think an Elliott wave is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after this ABC, you are wrong, because that ABC can be many things. Okay, it can be with small X wave, it can be with large X wave, it can be triple combinations, it can be double combinations, it can be running corrections, it can be a triangle. So just if you just memorize, and if you're just trying to find to yourself something like everywhere 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is it, I'm doing Elliott waves, it's not true. Okay, this is why so many so many counts out there failing. It's simply because of this. Okay, just because you think that there is something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can count it because it's visible, it doesn't mean that you are doing good job about Elliott waves. Okay, so let's say let me continue a little bit about more impulsive waves first. Now, when we talk about impulsive waves, there are some of the rules that you have to know. Of course, in one video, I cannot teach you all the rules, but I will try to teach the most important ones here. First of all, if you're talking about impulsive waves, actually, let me get rid of this. Okay, let me get rid of all of this and let's talk about impulsive waves. Okay, let's talk about impulsive waves. Now, impulsive waves usually look like this. Okay, we have a 1, we have a 2, we have a 3, you have a 4, and you have a 5. Okay, let's write it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, there are rules that you have to know, I said. The first rule is, well, the first wave has to be impulsive of its own. Like I said, it has to be on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So does the third wave, so does the fifth wave. The second rule that you have to know, this second wave here, this can be a corrective move, and I will explain you this corrective moves too. but it cannot be on one lower degree. So for example, if I want to talk about degrees, let's make it like this. Our biggest degree, let's say it will be something like 32. So let's use this color. Biggest degree, I will write here. You will have main degree, which just we were doing something like orange, let's do 1, okay. And for this just example, let's do one lower degree, okay. Actually, there are so much more degrees too you can do, but just for this example's sake, 3 degrees should be enough for us. And let's make this in this color. So, if it's our main degree here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, main degree, as you can see in orange, is good. Now, it means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has to end something of the bigger degree here. So let's say this is 1. Okay. But look, it's the same idea. If I put here 1, it means on a lower degree, something should end here as well. Okay, so on our lower degree, we need here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the rule says here, on lower degree, which is from 1 to 2, what is our lower degree? Is this color. It will be, let's say, ABC. But it cannot be a triangle here. So if you think that second wave looks something like this, A, B, C, D, and E. So let's label it on this degree here. So A, a B, a C, a D, and an and an E wave. And you have to. This is what usually triangles look like. Okay, can this be a second wave? No, it cannot. It can be what we call a flat, for example, something like this. This is what we call a flat. We have A, we have a B, and we have a C. Of course, there are many types of flats, but this is just one of them. For example, this as a second wave. Of course, it should have been on the other side, but it should be other way around, but okay, it doesn't matter so much. This can be a second wave as a flat pattern, but it cannot happen as a triangle pattern. So whatever this ABC, it cannot be this. This is one of the rules. Another rule, for example, fourth wave. Now fourth wave can be any corrective pattern. It can be a triangle, it can be a flat, or it can be a zigzag too. Something like this. Okay, this can be a fourth wave. It can be any one of them as a fourth wave. Okay, but of course this should be the other way around. Okay, because I did like this, I did like this too. So fourth wave can be anything. Second wave can be anything except triangle. Okay, actually, let me do this in a correct way, because our trend is going up. It means our correction will have to be on the other side. So I don't want you to get the wrong impression. So let's do something like this. Now this is the correct way of a zigzag in our example. Okay, let's go like this. Let's go A, B, and C. Yes. This can be a second wave. It can be a fourth wave as well. This can be a second wave, fourth wave as well. This can only be a fourth wave. It cannot be a second wave. Okay? Now you know the fifth wave has also been impulsive too. Now the most important rule in any impulsive wave is this. You need either one first wave or the third wave or the fifth wave to be extended. Now, what does it mean to be extended? Well, The rule says like this. So, in an example, you should take, in this example, you should take this length of first wave, and you need to take length of third wave, and you also should take length of fifth wave. Now, the rule says the second largest wave in an impulsive move, but of course I'm talking about 1, 3, 5. The length of fourth wave or the second wave doesn't count. Only the impulsive waves count. So this was the first wave, this was the third wave, and this was the fifth wave. The rule says, what is the second largest wave here? First one. So we are taking the first one and we are taking our Fibonacci retracement level for it, and we go something like this, and we take 161.8 out of it. Now when we take this 161.8 and put it on where the second wave ends, we should compare it with our third wave. Now as you can see, third wave is bigger. So if it was smaller than this, then you could not have an impulsive move. You need minimum 161.8 out of your second largest wave, and you should put it and compare it with your largest wave. Now, it doesn't always have to be the third wave is the extended one. For example, you can have a first wave extension. Now, what does it look like? I will show it to you here. So you can have something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This is an impulsive wave too. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now what should I do? What is my second largest wave? Well, in this example, third wave is the second largest wave. Now you should also know that third wave can never be the shortest wave. Okay, it cannot. So we take this and we take 161.8 out of it, and we compare it with our first wave. Now first wave is not long enough. It means in this example I should make it a little bit like this. Now this is a first wave extension. It is still an impulsive wave, but not the third wave is the largest one. So whenever you think that only the third wave can be the biggest, it's not true. First wave can be too. Also, it can be a fifth wave extension as well. So you can have a first wave, you can have a second wave that cannot be a triangle by itself, you can be a third wave which cannot be the shortest, then you can have a fourth wave that can be any correction can, and then you have a fifth wave extension. Now what should we do? Well, we take our second largest wave, which has to be the third wave, and we take it and we take 161.8 out of it, and we put it where this fourth wave has ended, which is here. As you can see, our example, this wave is bigger, so we can have a impulsive move such as this too. Now, there are also a little bit more rules. One of them being you have to draw every single time 0 to 2 trend line. Now, the 0 to 2 trend line is important because this 0 to 2 trend line will give you the fact that the first wave cannot break it. Okay, if for example some part of first wave breaks to 0 to 2 trend line, it means that this is not an impulsive move. Also, in any impulsive move, if for example a second wave comes here and makes a new low after this from your 0 point, it means you're not in an impulsive move. Also, you have to draw 2 to 4 trend line. If any part of third wave breaks the 2 to 4 trend line, you are not in an impulsive move. Also, if you have, for example, let's do it on here. So you draw your 2 to 4 trend line. this is how uh, uh, I will put time to our analysis. Okay, for example, you have to know how long it took your fifth wave to form. For this, I use some type of shape. Okay, so this is the time for my fifth wave that is taking this fifth wave to form. True. So I take it and copy it on the right side. This shows me this. If price does not come and breaks the 2 to 4 trend line during this time, it means that this probably is not an impulsive move. It means that your fifth wave is either not over or you're not in it, in an impulsive move. Okay? Now, this is a very important rule too that you should never forget. Okay. Also, when I said 0 to 2 trend line, of course, the third wave, any part of third wave cannot break it to first wave, and third wave cannot break any parts of 0 to 2 trend line. Also, the other important rule is fourth wave, your fourth wave, can never come into the territory of the second wave. So what does it mean? So if you have a fourth wave that is doing something like this, it's coming down, down, down here. This is a fourth wave. You cannot label this as a fourth wave because why? It came to the territory of the second wave. Where is the territory of the second wave? Well, it's between, I'm sorry, it's between here and it's between here. So look, between these two, these horizontal lines, it cannot come nowhere near it. If it did, it means that you are not in a classical impulsive move. Now these are very important rules for understanding the basics, of course, just the basics of impulsive moves. Now let's try to talk a little bit about corrective waves. Okay, because why? When we said about our logical process, what we said, let me change this again. What we said, first you needed impulsive moves, and the second move that we deal with was, so let's write the impulsive here again, impulsive here, and you have a corrective move. Now in this corrective move, you have to learn some of the ideas. First thing that you have to know, if you see a corrective move, it is labeled with letters. So it has to be ABC. Okay. It can either be ABC, it can either be A, B, C, D, E in a triangle. Okay. For this stuff, first for now, this is what you need to know. So if we are talking about ABC, what we can have? Well, we can have a correction called a flat. Now the flat pattern looks something like this. Okay, this is wave A, this is wave B, this is wave C. Now, so let's label this as a flat. Now, what makes this flat special? Well, in a flat, so wave A is a corrective wave. So, corrective wave. What does this mean? Well, it means if I am trading this wave A in one lower degree, which let's say in this example our one lower degree will be on something like this color, let's say this, it has to be ABC as well. When I say ABC, I'm talking about any type of corrective wave. Now, you cannot have, for example, on a flat A wave, a triangle. Because whenever you see a triangle, you should know that triangles usually, not usually, always end something. So it ends the wave. Yes, you can say, well, it ends the wave A here. But this wave A here is only the starting point of the bigger degree. So this ABC will end, if it's a simple correction, of course, it will end something on the bigger degree. such as wave A. Okay? It cannot start with a triangle, but other than this, for example, wave A of a flat can be a wave A, wave flat. I'm sorry, let me rephrase this. Wave A of a flat can be a flat in itself. So we can have A, B, and a C. On which degree? In this yellow degree. So I can say something like A, B, and a C. Now we have this ABC. And this ABC, what will end? It will end this wave A here. What about wave B? Well, wave B has to be corrective as well. So wave B will be ABC too. Now wave C here, on the other hand, it has to be an impulsive move. So what does this mean? Well, it means that if I'm trading on one wave C of a flat, then this is the place where I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you should try to understand. Now, whenever you see Elliott, Elliott wave counts, you everywhere see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, the markets are usually in corrective patterns. They are making these corrective phases. They're in corrective phases. Can you imagine you are actually in a B wave of a flat in some type of market, and you are here inside on trying to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s. What does this mean? It means that you're just wasting your time and your money. Okay? So if you don't understand what's going on in the bigger degree, if you understand what's going on in the bigger degree, it helps you so much. Because why? I know that I am in a flat, and I know that I am in a wave C of a flat. Okay, then I should be on the slower degree, try to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is something that I can trade now. Okay? So, whenever you see a flat, you have to think that it is 3, 3, 5. Now what does it mean? Well, this means this. Impulsive moves are 5 waves. These corrective moves are 3 waves. Look, A, B, C. Now, the triangle is 5 waves, but this triangle, actually, the difference between triangle and this flat and zigzag, the zigzag that I will show you right now after this, is triangle. All this A, B, C, D, E, they're all corrective too. So if you're, for example, in a triangle, you're writing A, B, C, D, E, and for example, as a D wave, you're trying to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is not true. Triangles have to be from corrective waves. Okay? So, also, the distinguishing part of a flat is this. Now, this is the most important rule after learning the basics. Now, this wave A, this corrective structure in a flat, and then this B wave comes. B wave of a flat has to retrace this wave A more than 618. So if this B wave ends somewhere here, this cannot be a flat. It has to go more than 618, or exactly 618. Okay? This is the most important rule in flat. After this, you understand the structure of it. So even though you have a corrective, and it doesn't come 618, it means that you're either on a triangle or something, you're making a mistake. This is not a flat. Okay? Now let's talk about zigzag. Now zigzag is a corrective pattern as well. And it looks something like this. You have a wave A here. You have a wave B here. And then you have another C wave here. Now, wave A of a zigzag is an impulsive move. Look, wave A of a flat was corrective. Zigzag, you're dealing with an impulsive move. Wave B of a zigzag is a corrective move. Wave C of a flat is impulsive too. So one lower degree, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. You need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, wave C2. But for the B wave is you need ABC. Actually, whenever you see a B wave, it has to be a correct wave. Okay. Now, the distinguishing, the most important rule after the structure for zigzag is the retracement of wave B. Now, you take Fibonacci of wave A, and if this wave B has to end below 618, so it has to be smaller than 618. So we are not looking for a so deep retracement here on a zigzag. You cannot have a zigzag that is doing something like this. If you see something like this, probably you're looking for an impulsive move, and this was first wave, second wave, and a third wave, but you think this is an ABC, but this 618 cannot happen. Okay, now this is important in zigzag. Now, in a zigzag, we can add the time perspective to it. What is the time perspective? In a zigzag, most of the times, the time taken for A is actually wave A is somewhere similar or identical to the time taking for wave C to form. So if you have an impulsive wave and you have a wave A, then you have a wave B that retraces less than 618. Even though before this wave C starts, you can have a limit on time to understand where the C wave can go. And of course, there are types of flats and zigzags. Now, in this video, because this is just a start, I will not go inside the type of flats because there are, if I'm not mistaken, 11 different types. And for zigzag, there are 3 different zigzags. So you have normal zigzag, you have truncated zigzag, and you have elongated zigzag. But this video will go on tens of hours. Okay, so this is the zigzag. Now we have a triangle. Now, if you have a triangle, it means that you are looking for an A and B, C, and D. What does a triangle look like? Well, a triangle has 5 legs: A, B, C, D, and E. So, A, B, C, D, and an E. This is what the triangle looks like. Now, the triangle moves between B to D trend line and this AC and E trend lines. Now, the first thing you have to know, all of these triangle legs are corrective waves. So this leg A, this wave A has to be corrective. Wave B has to be corrective. Wave C has to be corrective. Wave D has to be corrective, and wave E has to be corrective. So it's pointless for you to even try to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, because you'll just waste your time and your money. Okay. Now, by far the most important trend line here for a triangle is B to D trend line. Now, if the B to D trend line is on the up, it means that this triangle will break higher. If this B to D trend line on the downside, which I draw the trend line just like this, the triangle like this. So if you have a triangle like this, I'm drawing it now. So let's just copy it from here. So if you have A, you have a B, you have a C, you have a D, and you need a E. Now I'm sure many of you saw so much times before in TradingView or some charts they draw this trend line, they do this triangle, and they say, okay, if it breaks up, we will trade up. If it breaks down, we will sell it. Well, in Elliott waves, if you know this, if you know the count, you already know even before that which way it will go. In this way, it will break down. Again, it's ABC, 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 ABC. So by far the most important trend line for this in a triangle is B to D. Why? Because it will break to that level. Now there are some rules for triangles. First of all, any part of wave B cannot break this A and C trend line. Also, any part of wave D cannot break AC trend line as well. Also, we can use our time here too. Now, B to D trend line has to be broken in the same time or less time for wave E to form. So, if it's this is the time taking for wave E, and if it's doing something like this, it means that this is not wave E. The wave E is not done here. So you cannot put wave E here. It means that wave E is on the right side. Okay, this is very important. This rule is one of the most important. And the most thing that I see that about triangles that people are making mistake are they thinking that all the triangles should be like this textbook perfect, I like to say. Now these triangles are ugly. Trust me. If you actually watch my other videos, you will see that triangles are very ugly. And this triangle actually called a horizontal contracting triangle. Why? Because AC trend line and B to D trend line are coming towards together. Okay. Now you can have an expanding triangle too. You can have a triangle that will be in A and E baseline triangle. Now if you have something like this, some type of special triangle, this is a triangle too. You can have a C and E base triangle. Look, you can have a triangle like this too. These are all triangles. You can have an expanding triangles. You can have irregular triangle where the B wave is bigger. You can have running triangle. Okay, running variation of contracting triangle. So you have all these different triangles. Okay, so just don't expect the market to give you every single time this perfect triangle. Also, the triangle is the part where you have two types of triangles. You have either a limiting triangle or you have a non-limiting triangle. Now, now that you know this, what we are dealing with, now here's the most important part. Okay, now let's go back. Now, because this is how this thing should shape up. Now, this is the essence of Elliott waves. So we have corrective wave and we have impulsive wave. But I will change this. I want to do like this. Okay. So if you're dealing with an impulsive wave, now you have to ask yourself this question. Is this a classical impulsive wave? Or it is a terminal wave? Now this terminal wave, I didn't show it to you yet. Because this wave will go on forever. But the terminal wave, just to give it just a little bit of to start, it is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 labeled with numbers, but all of the waves are corrective instead of impulsive. So in a classical impulsive move, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where you have first wave, third wave, and the fifth wave has to be impulsive, and the second wave and the fourth wave are corrective. Now in terminal move, the first, second, third, fourth, and the fifth wave are all corrective, just like a triangle. Okay? So you have to ask yourself, if I'm in an impulsive move, Is it a classical impulsive move or am I in a terminal move? Now, the answer, if it's a classical impulsive move, then you have to ask yourself, what kind of classical impulsive move? So, do you remember we did first wave extension, third wave extension, fifth wave extension, and we have another one actually, it's called double extended waves. Okay, now let me write it down. So you either have first wave extension, which I showed to you already. So I will just write extension like this. First wave. Then you have a third wave extension. You can have a fifth wave extension. Then you can have a double extended waves. Now this double extended wave are so rare that it is so hard for you to I hope that I've never seen it one live, to be honest with you. But it looks something like this. You have a 1, 2. Now the third wave is 161.8 out of the first wave. So what we do, if we take our fib level, we take 161.8 and put it where our second wave ends. Yes. So now, for now, it looks like a third wave extension. True. Now what you do is you take this, and the fifth wave will be 161.8 of it after this fourth wave is done. So it does look something like this. Okay, so let's say like this. Now this is a double extended move. So third wave is 161.8 minimum out of it. Fifth wave is minimum 161.8 out of it. Okay. If you have something like this, which is I've never seen it, but it is that something that you should know, then it means that you're in a classical impulsive move. Now look, I asked myself, I looked in a pattern, I said, okay, is this wave impulsive wave or corrective wave? If it's impulsive, I asked the second question, is this a classical impulsive move or a terminal move? Then I said, okay, then I answered to myself. I said, look, this is a classical impulsive move. Why? Because it follows the rules of a classical impulsive move. Then I asked to myself this, is this a first wave extension, third wave extension, fifth wave extension, or a double extended wave? Then if it's a third wave extension, then I treat it accordingly. Now, if this is a terminal move, then I should ask myself the same questions. Is this a first wave extension, a third wave extension, or a fifth wave extension? Because on a terminal move, even though they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which I will do another video on terminal moves for you guys, don't worry about it. They will have an extension too, but their extension are a little bit different. In our extension, classical impulsive extension, what we do is we need 161.8 out of the second largest wave. In this terminal moves, there is one way that is bigger than others. I'm talking about first wave, third wave, or the fifth wave. Either first wave, third wave, or the fifth wave will be big, but their bigness is a little bit different. There is no Fibonacci ratio limit for it, so I will not say it has to be minimum 161.8. No, as long as one is the longest, it's good to go. Now, this terminal move is important to know too. Why? Because now you have to ask yourself, where does this terminal move happen? This terminal move can only appear in certain places. So, it can either be wave 5 of an impulsive move. It can be a wave C of a flat. It can either be wave C of a zigzag. That's it. Okay. Now look, from these questions that I asked, now I understand where I am. Just like here. I will write it down for you too. So, if I am in a classical impulsive wave that is a third wave extension, it means that I can either be on a first wave, or I can be on a third wave, on a bigger degree of course, or I can be in a fifth wave, or I can be of a wave C of a zigzag, or I can be wave C of a flat, or I can be wave A of a flat, of a zigzag, I'm sorry. Because if you remember, zigzag was an impulsive move, a corrective wave, an impulsive. Now, by answering these questions, I am trying to understand where I am on the bigger degree, which is what will make me be a successful trader if I can understand where I am, okay, in these degrees, in these cycles, so that I can know what to expect next, okay? So, what about corrective wave? If you're in a corrective wave, the first question you have to ask yourself, are you in a simple correction or a complex correction? Now, the simple corrections, I already showed it to you. So what were them? So let's say a simple corrections or a complex corrections. Now, simple corrections, what were they? Well, it can be a flat, it can be a zigzag, it can be a triangle. So look, I asked myself the question, am I in an impulsive way or a corrective way? No, I am in a corrective way. Okay, if I'm in a corrective way, what kind of corrective way I am? Am I in a simple one or a complex one? If I'm in a simple one, am I looking for a flat, a zigzag, of a triangle or a triangle? Now, if it is a simple correction and if it's a complex correction, is actually understood like this. So, let's say that we have a flat. So, B. I'm sorry, I am actually not using this trading view for so long. This is why I'm making these mistakes. So, what does it look like? Well, it looks like a flat. Why it looks like a flat? As you can see, B wave has come more than 618. Okay, so how do I understand, am I in a simple correction or a complex correction? Now, what do I do is fairly simple. I take 0 to B trend line, okay? So I just connect a trend line from the 0 point to the B point. And I do this. I look at how much time this wave C actually took. Time, not price, time. And I put it on the right side. Now I need time and price, which is why I like Elliott waves. Now, it goes. And if it first breaks 0 to B trend line and comes all the way to the B wave. So what I mean, if it completely retraces this move, it means that this A, B, and C is a simple correction. If it's a simple correction, it means that this ABC has to end something on a bigger degree. Let's say wave A of a flat. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Let me explain this again, and if you actually have had some trouble, you can go back in video and watch it again. So, what you have to do is 0 to B trend line. This is how much time wave C to form. We just copy it and put it on the right side, and if this price action after this is coming down, and it breaks to 0 to B trend line and comes back all the way to the B, it is a simple correction. If it does something like this and the time is up, it means that you cannot put this wave A here. Why? It means that this, whatever this correction is, I'm talking about this wave, is a complex correction. And if it's a complex correction, you actually need an X wave. Now, what is this X wave? Now, this X wave is what is called intervening wave. What it means is it connects the different corrections. So complex correction is not something so complex to understand. Why? It is just a matter of possibilities. For example, if this ABC and this X wave is connected, then you need another one of this. That's it. So for example, if you're looking for a complex correction, we can have, for example, A, B, C, X, and A, B, C as a flat, as a zigzag this time, let's say. It can be a flat too, but I said like this. Now then, because it didn't follow my rule of this, the price didn't come back to, now this is the place to put wave A. Not here, but here, because this is a complex correction now. Okay? So I hope this makes sense. Now, let's actually delete this part. Let me delete it. Now let's take the same for a zigzag. So, how do I understand this zigzag is a simple correction or no? Well, I do the 0 to B trend line. That's it. I take this, I take on the right side, and I wait this price action to first break 0 to B trend line and then come wait all the way to B. If it does, I can say this wave A is done. If it doesn't and does something like this, it means I need an intervening wave to connect between 2 or 3 different corrections. Now, this A wave can never be a triangle, okay? You cannot have a B, C, D, E, and X wave. It doesn't work like this. The triangles always end something, okay? Don't forget this. So, I'm asking the question, am I looking for a flat or zigzag or a triangle? If my answer, if this rule doesn't happen, it means that I am looking for a complex correction. Now, if it's a complex correction, there are two things that I should have to ask myself. Do we have a small X wave, or do I have a big X wave, large X wave? Now, what's the difference? Well, the difference is fairly simple. The difference comes from the Fibonacci ratio of how deep is this X wave is going. So let's take this example, okay? What is my start point? 0. Where is this correction ends? A, B, C. First correction. I take my fib level. This is it. If this X wave is less than 618, it is a small X wave. If it's larger than 618 and you have something like this, it means that this X wave is a large X wave. And that's it. So simple. Now, but what it actually means is changes so much. Why? Well, because if I have a small X wave, I have a possibility of different corrective types. So if I have a small X wave, I have different chances. And if I have a large X wave, I have different chances. Now, I will explain this part on a different video because it will take so much time and I don't want to make this video so much longer. But this is how the Elliott theory works. So if you want to trade Elliott wave theory, you have to know this is the base of it. Okay? You have to ask yourself always question, am I in an impulsive corrective? If I'm in a corrective, is it simple or complex? If it's complex, is it with small X wave or large X wave? If it's small X wave, then you have only 6 options. I didn't write it down yet because I will explain on this a different video. It can be a double zigzag, triple zigzag, double flat, triple flat, double combination, triple combination. That's it. There is no the 7th one. Then it means you are in only either one of 6. If it's a large X wave, then you have double 3, triple 3, running all that stuff. If you're in a corrective wave, simple corrective wave, it can be flat, zigzag, a triangle. There is no 4th option. Okay, if you're trading classical impulsive moves, can be either first wave extension, third wave, fifth wave, or double extended. And where they can happen is this. where you can see terminal moves, this. If you're in a wave B of a zigzag, now, and you're thinking that this wave C start, then you have to know there's a possibility it can either be a terminal or it can be a classical. Now, and then what you do, you wait, try to understand what the market is doing, and then you answer the question. Okay? So, I hope this video will help you guys. And please put a like, and you can, of course, ask me anything, and I will try to answer it. Okay? Thank you so much.